Yamete kudasai, Oni-chan.
Yes, even if you've never studied Japanese before, I guess you already know what this sentence means. And if that's the case, you should ask yourself the good question. But the question I want to answer today is this one. Is sibling relationships in Japan are really like that? All families are different. It's very possible that what I'm telling you about siblings in Japan matches what you experience in your family, or maybe it's complete opposite. Here we are going to outline some differences between having a brother and a sister in Japan and in the rest of the world. And if you think it's not possible to have so much differences, Well, my name is Louis, I'm half Japanese, I live in Japan since 2022, which is quite recent, and today we are talking about siblings in Japan. It's very surprising for Japanese people that in some languages, like English for instance, you don't make differences for like elder brother and younger brother. Ototo means younger brother, and Oni-san means elder brother. In the same way, Imoto means younger sister, and Ane means older sister. But I guess the Oni-san, you already knew this one.
Oni-chan.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Here we have the word Oni-san pronounced really in a sexy way, but it's not always like this. Let me tell you about how we say big brother in Japanese sign language.
Wow, no.
Yes, this is it. This is no joke. Big brother in Japanese language is like this. Yes, and this is the way I learned that sign language isn't universal. You have different sign language for many countries, and I really found that a little bit unfortunate. But come on, let's get into the cliché of having siblings in Japan. In Japan, little brothers who have an older sister are big talkers and ladies' men. Apparently, it's a well-known thing. You ready to flirt? Oh, this is because you have an elder sister. What? And also, little brothers who have an older sister are often spoiled too much. Apparently, it's because the oldest sister takes the role of the mother with the little bro. I feel like not so many people is gonna agree with this one. Little brothers who have an older brother handle life's hardships better. Well, this was all I found on the Japanese internet. But I guess the biggest difference between having siblings in the West and having siblings in Japan is that in families, we don't raise kids as the same way. In the West, we want all the kids to have the same education, to be treated in the same way. In Japan, it's different. The older brother is idolized, but he also has the most pressure from the family. He's the one that has to take over some family businesses or even like family caring. You can also see this in Japanese anime and manga. The older brother is always an improved version of the protagonist, whether it's Ace in One Piece, Meliodas in Nanatsu no Taizai, or Itachi in Naruto. Another example in this video responding to a YouTube drama, instead of both owning up to it, only the older brother takes full responsibility for bringing his sister to a drinking party during the state of emergency in Japan. Yes, it was during COVID. In Japan at this time you weren't allowed to make party at night. In noon it was okay, but at night, no. Strange rule in Japan, as always. In anime, you often see siblings bickering or loving each other, but in reality in Japan, I get the impression that once they are no longer teenagers, they mostly ignore each other. Brother and sister in Japan don't get along so well. But there is one place where brother and sister gets along really well in Japan, it's among YouTubers. Brother and sister channel is so common in Japan. I feel like in the West it's more common to have a brother channel or sister channel, but brother-sister quite rare. In Japan, complete opposite. There are indeed a lot of Japanese YouTube channels centered around the theme of brother and sisters. And it's not calm and chill stuff. Absolutely not. They specifically and consistently play up the edgy, provocative side of brother and sister relationship.
それじゃあこれでキスしたいと思います。
Yes, what you saw just right now, the brother kissed her sister. Well, there was a plastic film between them, but still it was a kiss. And I feel like it's quite weird to make this kind of content, but look at the views. 13 million views! And that's not all. The guy starts the video by telling his favorite place in the world is his sister's room. Sorry, sister's bedroom. And actually these are the same people where the brother flips his sister's skirt. But this kind of content, it's not just these YouTubers. There's much more of it in Japan. Here's hopefully a parody video where Big Brother undresses his sister, or this one, for their 200,000 subscribers. They made a song suggesting why not marry your brother or sister. It's humor, it's parody. I hope. But actually this kind of content doesn't come up from nowhere. In Japan, liking too much your brother or sister is a thing. It has even a name. It's called Shiskon or Burakon in Japanese. It's a brother-sister complex that is overrepresented in Japanese anime. Or I guess even in Japanese dramas. And it goes both ways. The brother who loves his sister and the sister who loves her brother. And this is the moment you think, wow, Japanese people are so strange about sister-brother. And I wish I could say that this sister complex is only in Japan, but come on, let's face it. We have the same thing in the West, it's just that it's completely taboo. Like on the Korn website when you can find some brother-sister complex video. But we have to admit that in Japan it's more present in entertainment. Well, there is no simple answer, but I think it's because the Big Brother is so idealized in Japan that this idealization can quickly turn into feelings for some little sisters. It's a portrayal of a forbidden, unspoken love. So naturally, what is forbidden works. But siblings' relationship in Japan can turn in a pretty strange way too. Suddenly having a brother at 30 years old or plus. How does it work in Japan? Is it because in Japan some children's existence is hidden for a long time? Not at all. If Japanese people find themselves suddenly with brother or sister, it's because to adoption. And here we are touching something huge in Japanese society. It's a really massive phenomenon. It concerns 98% of adoptions in the country. It's about 81,000 people every year. And these adoptions have a really particular purpose: to keep family businesses inside the family. Suzuki, Kikoman, Toyota, Canon, you're definitely heard of these companies. And all of these Japanese companies have already adopted to keep the business within the family. They identify a valuable person in the company who is approved by everyone and decide to adopt them to make them a family member. For example, Osamu Suzuki, the current chairman of Suzuki, is the fourth adopted son running the company. But this phenomenon also happens in very small companies, which explains the impressive number of 81,000. We see here a winemaking company that adopted Ryo Wakao, formerly Ryo Suji.
Avant, son nom de famille, c'était Tsuji, jusqu'à son adoption en 2008 à l'âge de 30 ans, par ses viticulteurs, en quête d'un héritier.
Voici mon père,
Il vit désormais dans le foyer de ses parents adoptifs.
voici ma mère,
Le couple de septuagénaires voit en lui un sauveur.
et voici ma femme.
Ils auraient préféré fermer l'entreprise plutôt que de la vendre hors de la famille.
Naturally, the adoptive family considers Ryo as their son, and they seems really enjoyed by it. Without this adoption, the company, which has existed for several centuries, would have had to close down. So adoptions like this happen in 3 cases. If there is no heir, that makes totally sense. If the heir is uninterested in taking over the business, or is deemed incapable. And the 3rd case is when the heir is a woman. Yes, ladies, here you can't complain. We have here a pure example of Japanese tradition, patriarchy tradition. Leaving the lead of a family business to a woman is still unthinkable in Japan today. And without defending this practice, there is a certain amount of logic behind it. All is about succession. Imagine appointing a woman as head of a family business. You're only delaying the problem, since upon marriage she should lose her family name. And keeping her maiden name is not possible in Japan without imposing the maiden name to the man. Basically, in Japan, when two people are married, they cannot have two different names. And imposing it to the husband is really rare. This is also the reason why in Japan there is always a male emperor and not female. No women are appointed to prevent another family from taking control. That's why 90% of Japanese adult adoptions are between 20 years old and 39 years old. And these men, when they are adopted, they have to respect a really, how could I say this, Japanese traditional rule. Yes, you heard that right. In the case where the family heir is a daughter, not only she can't take the business, but the family also designates the future heir as her husband. I've even seen some cases where the couple can be adopted together. This means they got married and then afterwards they became legally brother and sister. But it's more interesting when the adopted person marries the daughter. For the parents, it's a win-win situation. It allows them to keep the direct bloodline through their grandchildren. If there is a boy as a grandchildren, which they will definitely want, he will become automatically the future head of the company.
Dans son domaine viticole à Yamanashi, Ryo Wakao lui aussi a épousé sa sœur adoptive. Au Japon, aucune loi ne l'interdit.
That last sentence is completely false. In reality, marrying your sister is totally illegal and impossible even in Japan. Except in this specific case. It's the Article 734. People directly related by blood and up to the third degree of blood relation cannot marry, except between an adopted child and their relatives not related by blood. Such exceptions in Japanese law are really uncommon, believe me. So you can see how deeply adult adoption and these brother-sister marriage are embedded in Japanese customs for generations. Indeed, the earliest record of Japanese adult adoption date back to the 13th century and became widespread in the 17th century with the samurai. They adopted men to create a strong, stable social position by placing them in important roles. And these adopted men have even a name. It's Mukuyoshi. And if people are going this far, this is because there is a lot at stake, including money of course, but naturally finding a good Mukuyoshi becomes a business itself.
Cette chasseuse de tête travaille pour des familles propriétaires d'entreprises. Elle sillonne le pays pour trouver le successeur idéal parmi des employés modèles.
Bonjour monsieur.
Face à elle, un informaticien de 31 ans, auto-entrepreneur, candidat à l'adoption. Il se rêve patron d'une grande société.
Montrez-moi votre CV. Merci. Est-ce que vous avez parlé de votre projet à vos parents biologiques?
Oui, bien sûr. Ils m'ont dit, suis ton propre chemin. Ne reste pas là à attendre notre héritage.
Yes, headhunters to find the good Mukuyoshi. They find for a family the perfect son to adopt. The woman you just saw is Chieko Date, the boss of the matchmaking site Bridal Produce People, specialized in Mukuyoshi. It also manages meetings purely based on DNA. Personally, I don't understand what DNA compatibility means, but maybe they just verify if you're not really brother and sister. Thanks for watching. I'm not so used to speaking in English, so please pardon me, excusez-moi. I'll see you next time. Cheers.